EA College Football 25 is the best selling sports video game of all time. Not just this year, not the best selling football game, the best selling sports video game, period. Let's talk about it. I think there are three main reasons why this game became a bestseller and why I think no other game will ever break these records. So reason number one is the dwindling current American football market, or in general, the dwindling sports video game market. I feel like for a while, people have just been complacent with the games that have been coming out, mainly talking about 2K and Madden. Everyone's been, dunking on Madden for being a pretty mid game for the past 10 years. And there's been times where there's been social media outcries about how Madden is just the same game over and over and over again. There's been many times where the developers had to come out and say, sorry guys, we're sorry for not putting any effort in, we're going to fix it next time. And then they barely do anything. And then 2K, although it does have a lot more features, it has become a game that's riddled with microtransactions, and in their My Career or in their My Team, you basically have to spend hundreds of dollars to even be competitive in those games, which again, although it is a pretty solid game in the offline sense compared to Madden, it's still a very pay-to-win game and people are looking for something new. So that is the first reason. The second reason is the successful revival of the college football video game. Now, of course this was going to happen. This game was hyped up and it was going to be successful no matter what. But how successful was going to come down to a few things. First off is, were they going to deliver on the hype? Now, I do think some people's expectations were so high to where even the game we currently got, which I think is a very good game, and I honestly didn't expect this kind of quality from a first attempt from EA, at least from a college football game for the first time in 10 years. I really thought this game was going to be very bare bones and just have a decently solid foundation. I was just hoping for a solid foundation. I think we got a little bit more than that. But I think it all really came down to the initial hype trailers. I remember there were tens of thousands of people that were waiting for these trailers to drop. And obviously, whenever I made my reactions to these trailers, my channel initially blew up. So you could tell that people were really excited for this game. And just breaking down each scene frame by frame was enough to get people to watch my videos. So it shows that people were really excited about this game. But these trailers also delivered a lot of things that people were being neglected on when it comes to these sports video games, especially when it comes to the offline experience of these game modes. I mean, Madden, for a while, their franchise mode has been just a copy paste almost for every year. It wasn't really changing it that much, and they kept bringing in different game modes and different technologies that people didn't ask for. But the college football kind of brought it back to its roots. They really focused on the core game modes and really the core gameplay. Obviously we couldn't see the gameplay or play it, but just from the videos that we saw and from what people were telling us, the gameplay seemed to be pretty solid. It did have a Madden-like feel, but it didn't feel like a Madden reskin. You could also just see the attention to detail that they were putting into this game. The fact they were able to get all the teams, all the players, that's already a feat in itself, but also being able to get all these traditions, their fight songs, to get the third down music, to even licensing Mo Bamba. And then the crazier things was in things like Dynasty mode, where they were able to put in color-themed games or crowd-themed games, so you can have a whiteout at Penn State, but not just one. There was multiple of them. Penn State, I think, has like 5 of them. I know they have the stripes. They also have the single stripe, the whiteout. So they have all sorts of different kinds of different color outs. And I remember when I was doing my Boise State Dynasty, they had an all orange and all blue. They did all white, red, white, or I think they did orange, blue, and white. Like, they did all crazy, combinations that were in real life. Now, of course, I do have some thoughts on how they could update it for the future edition of the games, but I do think it was such a strong start, and also the fact that the core gameplay was just really fun when the game actually came out. I think the gameplay is probably the most impressive part of it, because I really thought this game was going to play like Madden, and although it would have really good graphics and the just being able to play with updated uniforms, updated stadiums and fields would probably be enough for me. But the fact that the gameplay is really fun, it shows that they really delivered on this game. And I can keep going. And again, this game is not perfect. Absolutely. But I just think it's leaps and bounds more fun than Madden. And again, going back to the dynasty mode or the franchise mode, whatever you want to consider it, when you're comparing the two, the fact of roster management is so much more engaging, and being able to recruit a player throughout the whole season, having the transfer portal, having players leave, I think it's a lot more different than just doing the draft and trades. Of course, NFL and college football roster management are fundamentally different, but the fact is in college, the season has so many implications, and then the playoffs, conference championships, and also being able to customize the game as well, being able to change conferences, do all these other crazy things. And then again, team builder on college is way more, I would say, way more fun than the NFL. I feel like in the NFL version of team builder, they really restrict it a lot. I do think team builder needs a lot of work, but I do think it's a pretty strong start. So that's the second reason. So the second reason is the strong return of a college football game. Again, even if this game was pretty mid, it still would have sold well, but it wouldn't have sold better than Madden. If it was just a game that was a Madden reskin, people would have bought it, and the initial reviews would have came out saying, guys, this is just a Madden reskin, it is what it is. Of course, the core college football fans that wanted this game would buy it, but it wouldn't be an all-time bestseller. It wouldn't outsell 2K, it wouldn't outsell Madden. But the final reason, I think this is really where EA really cooked here, and this also ties back to the second point, is they were able to revive a demographic that hasn't been playing video games in a long time. The fact that they really focused on the core gameplay features, the gameplay itself, and then also the dynasty mode with its recruiting and all sorts of customization and replayability has made it to where people who traditionally don't play Madden or play video games in general were buying Xboxes and PS5s just to play this game. I bought an Xbox just to play this game. I've been a PC gamer for, I would say, the past 10 years. I haven't had an Xbox since an Xbox One, but I was going to buy an Xbox just to play this game. Now, I wish the game came out on PC, but it just shows that there were people that were just buying consoles just to play this game, and that they were coming back to the gaming community just to play this game. I know there's a few people that I've talked to on social media that they're a little bit older. They were gamers in the past. They played NCAA 14 when the game was out, and then obviously the game got canceled and they moved on with their lives, and now they got kids and they got jobs. But when this game came back, I was like, wait, this is actually kind of a throwback to what NCAA 14 was. People started to come back to this game. So I think that while Madden in the NFL is probably a more popular franchise when you ask the general public, there were a lot of gamers, or there were a lot of people who weren't traditionally gamers that came back to EA and came back to the college football franchise because it was the first game that we've had in over 10 years. This is going to the final point, is this game the records that this game is bringing, it will never be broken. And this is why. I know now that because this game has become an all-time bestseller, which if you want to know where I got this, the source from, it's from the Sports Business Journal. I will put a link in the description. And they didn't give us the numbers, which is, I wish I could. I tried looking into it, and if the numbers are there, I'll put them on screen. But I couldn't find the specific numbers, which I wish it was, wish it showed it. But it said that it outsold NBA 2K21, which was the second highest selling game. So it showed that even 2K was outselling Madden. So going back to my point where I said that this record will never be broken, it's because the fact is that there are already games for almost every sport now. The only sport that we don't have a video game for is college basketball. And I know that's something that many people were talking about and that EA and 2K were mentioning. But even if a basketball game came out, I don't think it would sell better than this college football game, because when you're looking at the sports, college football is still a much more popular sport. Now, college basketball is a close second, or I would say a distant second, but I don't think it would do the crazy numbers like the college football game, even if the game was really good. I just don't think, because when you're comparing these kinds of sports, I don't think college basketball would sell better than the college football game. Now, if it was 2K that was doing it, now I think if 2K comes out with a college basketball game, I think it does have a chance. That is the only case where I could see it happening, because I think people think that 2K knows how to make a pretty solid offline experience. I know they've kind of lost their ways a little bit, but when they were cooking, they were doing pretty well. So if they came out with a college basketball game, there is a good chance, and especially since the second highest selling game of all time was, NBA 2K. And again, more people watch the NBA than they do college. That's just kind of how it is. Not everyone is, looks at college sports compared to the professional teams. So that would be the only case. If EA came out with a college basketball game, I don't think it would sell well, just because they would have to go up against, 2K's ability to make a basketball game, and also EA's basketball games for a while were not selling really well. They weren't doing that great. I do think it would be very good for the competitiveness of the market, because it would have two college games kind of competing with each other, and they would be able to feed off each other. Now, I don't know how it would work with licensing, and if one, if the licensing companies would rather work with one company or the other. I absolutely hate exclusive agreements, but I don't know how that's going to work. But just thinking about how college football was the biggest sport that didn't have a video game, and when it came back with a strong first version in 10 years, also during an era when sports video games were kind of dwindling, and then also reviving that old demographic of gamers. And even the thing is like they revived a lot of older gamers that would probably in their 30s, 40s, people in their mid to late 20s. Like, I remember playing NCAA 14 when I was, I think, 13 years old. So I remember playing that initially when it came out. But there's also a lot of new gamers that actually like the college game as well, because of things like NIL. You have players like Travis Hunter, who is an incredible brand that people love to gravitate towards. I know he's, a lot of teenagers and kids love like looking at him and also looking at those players, and you can now play with those guys in the game. You couldn't do that in the previous versions of the game. So that's really it, guys. I just wanted to make a short little commentary video about how this college football game is completely destroyed all expectations I ever had when it comes to sales. And this does mean that EA has a lot of expectations for College Football 26, because it's not like this game was, a financial flop, so now they don't really have to try. This game is the highest seller, best seller in the entire sports genre. So that means that they need to continue to cook, and now the expectations are set high, because to be honest, the expectations for this game were not set that high. I mean, remember when people were saying, as long as it's not a Madden reskin, we're okay. We obviously didn't get that. We got a game that was much better and a lot more fun, but I do think that there's a good chance that EA could disappoint us with EA College Ball 26. I hope they don't, but just with EA's track record, they really need to deliver. I hope the college team realizes the precedent they set, and how they can hopefully flip the script for EA's reputation, because to be honest, I think they're like the most hated gaming company out there because of all the franchises they've ruined and all the video games they've come out. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this little commentary video. It's a pretty short video for me. I'm in the process of working on my second playoff video. I plan on releasing it after the first round because I didn't want it to become immediately outdated. So I did make my predictions and I did have them in the video. So you will see those there, and hopefully I go perfect 4 for 4. But you will see that in. I hope you guys enjoy. But other than that, this has been Jagnal, and I will see you guys next time.